Hi guys, as we know, the Supreme Court ruled that the Tories' Rwanda policy was unlawful as that country was not safe. The policy itself may not be the problem, but sending people to that particular African nation is out of the question. So the solution seems to be to legislate around the problem. Why? Well, it isn't possible to make Rwanda safe. That would require the government there making massive changes which the UK has no power over. And the bigger problem for Rishi Sunak is that it would take time. Here Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, doubled down on the idiotic position of just changing the law. Have a listen.
The Prime Minister's made a very big deal of the Rwanda situation, or the Rwanda plan, I should say. The Supreme Court ruled the current version unlawful. Prime Minister says he'll change the law. Are you comfortable with that as a response to a legal ruling? Let's change the law.
Yes, that is our democratic right as members of Parliament. We made that commitment to the British people. And let's look at what's actually happening. Small boat crossings this year, down by a third. In the rest of Europe, up by a third. So we are making progress, but we haven't yet finished the job. And we've been very clear. We will do what it takes because a government's job is to secure borders. We don't think the system at the moment is fair to the British people, and nor is it fair to the people who are being smuggled by these evil gangs. We should decide who comes here and not those gangs.
So we can expect to see some emergency legislation pretty quickly?
I think so. That's the plan. And indeed, a new treaty with Rwanda in order to overcome the obstacles the Supreme Court has said need to be resolved before this can be done lawfully. We will do it lawfully. And if we need to change the law, we'll do that.
All right.
Okay, this doesn't make any sense. Now, it could be possible that the Tories are moving away from the Rwanda policy. They realise, look, it's not working. We can't make it work. Let's just stop talking about it and focus instead on stopping the boats in other ways. But if the real plan is to legislate, then how the heck do you fix the problem? If the problem is Rwanda, and that Rwanda are not upholding treaties with countries when it comes to asylum seekers, how can the UK government change that? Like, if the problem stems from Rwanda and the Rwandan government and the country not being safe, what can Rishi Sunak do in the House of Commons to fix that? It's nonsensical. This is not an internal UK problem. This is an external problem. So when the Supreme Court said that it's unlawful, the problem was Rwanda. So I really don't understand what Rishi Sunak is planning to do here when it comes to changing the law, because the problem is Rwanda. The Rwandan government have to make changes. Now, the UK can probably say to them, look, here's some more money to try and change some things, but that would take time. That would take changes in the Rwandan parliament. A change in the thinking within the Rwandan government, and that isn't something you can achieve overnight, and you can't be even guaranteed that those changes would be implemented, because the Rwandan government is a bit like the Tory government. They tend to break international law in limited and specific ways, so they're not very trustworthy. So they're as trustworthy as the Tories, let's put it that way. So if Rishi Sunak is asking them to implement changes, we can't be sure that those changes will be implemented. We can't be sure if the changes can be implemented, and certainly they won't be implemented within the time frame that Rishi Sunak needs before the next general election. So I think what we're probably going to see, if Rishi Sunak has any brain cells at all, he'll move away from this ridiculous policy of Rwanda, abandon it, maybe mothball it, or at least stop talking about it, because it's not going to help him. It's not working. You know, you're not going to see any real benefit, quote unquote, politically from it, unless you start to see people flying to Rwanda. And it would have to be significant numbers, not something like 200 people. So I think this is going to be, if Rishi Sunak is clever, he will abandon this and instead focus on, quote unquote, benefits of other policies, such as stopping the boats or reducing numbers or whatever he wants to do around that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.